Yo, what's happening? It's Ace from my podcast because everybody's got a fucking podcast now. So yeah, Trump, I mean, that almost feels like a slur now, Trump, now that he's president. And look, I know that, the presence of Trump, mentioning his name, his branding, everything he does in life is everybody's very impressed by it, whether it's good impression or bad impression. Everybody is always impressed. And I feel like that's what keeps Trump, relevant. It's just one of those things where America has figured out a way to turn sensationalism into profit and agenda. And until America starts to not give a shit anymore, Trump will always be relevant. Um, because in my opinion, it's just as important to not give a shit as it is to give a shit. Like we can choose, what we react to, but unfortunately, everybody needs to be like this edge lord, or we have to be impressed by something, otherwise you're a bad person or whatever. You have to have this opinion. An opinion is not like something that is just instinctive anymore, that people have of their own opinion anymore. You like have people demand an opinion from you, you know like you're a bad person if you don't have one, or if you have an idea outside of like the two default opinions they expect you to have, and stuff and shit like that is what keeps Trump relevant. I'm rambling all over the place. Ultimately, what I mean is that until we stop reacting to somebody like Donald Trump, which I know is a fucking crazy idea, he's always going to hold on to power. We're always going to be, everybody's always going to just be impressed by him. You hear his name and immediately shivers send or sent down your spine and stuff. Good or bad, it depends on the person. You could be like a shiver of your dick. You like Trump, or it's a shiver down your spine. Oh man, Trump Project 2025. That fills me with terror. What a horrible thing. Uh, Trump, is one of those people, that feeds off of attention, right? Now it's important to, be relevant in order to become, president and shit like that. But for somebody like Trump, who's a bully and a narcissist, he's going to manipulate that to his advantage. So, and the only way to defeat a narcissist is to make them irrelevant. All you ladies out there that have ever had shitty ex boyfriends that beat the shit out of you know what I'm talking about. They think that they're God and king of the world, and they get to tell you what to do, and it's your property, and you have to listen to them. Kind of a little bit of a relevant, kind of a bit of a jab towards Nick Fuentes. Um, I feel like we should make Trump as irrelevant as possible and start doing like community organizing on a local level if we want to fight this shit. Because, politics is one of those things where, like, especially when it comes on to taking the U.S. government, they run this shit like a mafia. You can't just go for the head boss and take him out, because then they'll have, his followers and his loyalists do everything else that he wanted to do anyway. So you have to section it off. I actually had an idea at one point to like faction off, banks and corporate power and stuff. Posted that idea on social media, and I immediately got, trounced for it and told that I was a fucking lunatic and I didn't understand how government works and stuff, when I wasn't trying to talk about how government works. I was trying to talk about how something different could work in this current state of corruption and bullshit. Um, I don't know. You all decide if you care or not. I feel like that's important. That's the point I'm trying to drive, is that you don't have to react uh so hard, so aggressively towards, an event like Donald Trump. Donald Trump, will always, much like social media and advertising, they all feed off of attention, whether it's good or bad. So I feel like we should ignore him. Treat him like a zit, that just, we pop that shit off and then move on with our life. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, man, it's crazy. I mean, he's the president, and it's like, yeah, that reaction is the problem, you know? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do anything. We should just hide in our houses and just pretend like he's not president. But I am saying that we need to organize it on a local level. Try and do shit in your communities and one of the best things about America. As harsh as I criticize it, one of the best things about America is our multiculturalism. You know, we have multiple communities in this country that are able to work together and and try and uplift people that need it. Those are what communities do, and different and communities and cultures do. That's what America is ultimately supposed to be for: uplifting those who can't help themselves and pitching, and trying to drive stuff like that, and trying to drive for a better future. That's what America should be, not this fucking hyper materialistic corporate douchey fucking asshole. I don't know. I'm rambling. I haven't taken my medicine yet. um I guess at the end of the day, I'm just saying that we need to reprioritize ourselves. Change our priorities. Another way to frame the Trump reactionary criticism is because a lot of leftists and stuff they like to react to Trump's stupidity, and Democrats they love to react. Everybody reacts to Trump's stupidity. Um, my question for you guys is: are you really that surprised? I mean, really? I mean, you go around and be like, "Oh my god, you'll never guess what Trump did." Oh my goodness, you hear about this new policy he did? Oh, I heard about one time Trump fed one of his wife's fetuses to his pit bull. Like, are we really that impressed anymore? You know, Trump could have a fucking slave ring in the basement of the White House and I wouldn't be impressed, because Trump's personality literally gives off the vibes that he would do literally just about anything. So, we need to just stop being impressed by him. Because like at the end of the day, what are we impressed by? Because we expect shit like this from Trump. So rather than just be impressed by it, or oh man, Trump did this. Oh, you'll never guess what this did. Like, instead of just being impressed by it, why not just ignore him and just try and focus on your inner circles? That in turn will lead to larger circles, and then those larger circles will lead to entire communities and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. We have to we have to chisel away at this shit. We can't just take a big bite, and expect, everything to fix itself. We have to start small and force our way up. That's how the fucking, Republicans did it. You think that a bunch of Christian fascists just woke up one day and took over the country overnight? No, this was a slow, decades long process, And for all you Christians out there, I have a question for you. How do you feel about your religion being hijacked by money? Is that what the Bible preaches? Is that, the guy, Donald Trump, who represents corporatism and money? You want that guy representing Christianity? Really? Name me one fucking verse in the Bible that says, and then God said, put the mighty dollar in everybody's hand. Like, find me that verse. Like, the Bible teaches us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, to treat each other better. Well, in fairness, Jesus taught that, but whatever. Those are like what the teachings, the original Bible was trying, or the Bible was in itself was trying to teach, I guess. Why can't that be the teachings of the Bible? Why does, I don't understand this. The Bible is all about, mega churches and selling books and fucking conquering enemies and stuff. Like, really? Is that what Christianity is now? I remember back in the 90s where while it did have its fanatics, especially during the evangelical boom, like there was still a compilation of Christians that actually tried to practice the teachings of Jesus. They turned the other cheek and didn't give a shit about assholes. They donated not to the church but to like communities that needed help. They volunteered at soup kitchens. They gave people rides. They helped out homeless people. Where the fuck is that version of Christianity? And it broke my heart for the one guy who ran a church, who opened his church to the homeless to try and help the homeless get off the street and stuff. And the fucking city penalized him for it. So you're literally punished for teaching Jesus stuff. Went off on another tangent again, didn't I? Anyways, don't be impressed by Trump. Okay, he's not that interesting. I mean, he is interesting in the sense of like, what the future holds and whatever. But as him, the man, don't be impressed by that. He's nothing. He's just a thug and a bully who thinks he can play God because he has all the money in the world. He's not. He's just an angry, spoiled fucking little brat who's living off of his daddy's name. That's all he is. That's all he needs to be. Ugh.